Video, all back Kalita.
Sometimes it's in order to manipulate a situation to get the best out of something. Sometimes it's to avoid hurting people's feelings. Sometimes it's to self-aggrandize. So, one could argue that narcissists lie as a means of self-aggrandizing. I've done all this. People that are more Machiavellian lie as a means to control you. Psychopaths lie as a means to manipulate you. But then we have the other side, and we've all been there when our friend says, "Do you like my new haircut?" And there's like nothing they can do about it for the next 3 months. And you're like, "Yeah."
You just don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Exactly.
Who lie more, men or women?
So the interesting thing is that men and women are found to lie generally for different reasons. So we find that women tend to lie to promote sort of positive social things, to avoid hurting feelings, whereas men tend to lie to try and gain social status, generally speaking, a bit more. But I think this is like a self-report thing as well, right? So this is the problem with doing research around lying. You kind of depend on the person you're asking the question to be telling you the truth.
It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I think sometimes, do you think it's easy to forget that you're lying? Well, sometimes I think there's a thing that's in your head. I sometimes listen, particularly my mum is an amazing storyteller.
Yeah.
And it's really hard sometimes to kind of go, I wonder what of this actually happened and how much has just become legend, and actually she's not really aware of it now. And it's something in the Thomas side of the family, which is my mum's side of the family, but they are all brilliant storytellers.
That's such a brilliant point. And you're right. And the thing with memories, we never actually remember the thing that happened. We remember the last time we told the story.
Yes.
So it's a story. So to your point, if every time I said I caught the fish and it was this big and then it was this big, by the time I'm saying the fish that I caught was this big, I'm believing it because I'm remembering it like that. So I do think there is that part of storytelling with the rhythm of language. But on the other hand, I think what's really fascinating, so we think that people lie approximately 1 to 2 times a day. When you look at the data, it's not like a nice smooth bell curve. What we find is some people lie a lot and some people say they don't lie at all. So it seems like there's a small proportion of people that tend to do a lot of lying and the rest of us try not to, because it isn't great. Lying is actually not great for us, right? I think anyone that's it kind of speaks to, I don't feel I'm enough, or I feel I need you to do what I want you to do, so I'm going to manipulate you. I get that there's times in life where it comes in, and I understand that. But actually, being able to remember that lie is really hard as well, and that's how a lot of them are caught out.
It's interesting as well how it's also very down to the person and how you frame something and your interpretation of something as well, rather than just, sometimes it's not just an out and out lie, it's how you perceive the situation.
100%. And the way that you perceive any situation, it has so many biases cognitively, how you raise your belief system. There's this great research on accents, right? And which accents we tend to believe more. Now,
Yeah, because I think Charlotte and the Traitors came out at the start and said, I'm going to pretend to be Welsh because the Welsh is a very trusted accent.
Right. So what's the most trusted accent here? What were we all raised on? Sort of BBC English, right? That accent, right? So when you hear that accent, studies show that that's going to be more trustworthy by virtue of the fact that it was the literal news, right? It was the truth. Whereas accents that we don't hear very often, we tend to believe in a lot less. And actually, if we kind of associate a certain accent with a certain region where there's a high crime rate, we're like, well, now I definitely, because that's the associations that we make. So in a lot of ways, these biases that we have, whether it's sort of racially or culturally or socially, they come from the belief systems, to your point, the world we've created in our head.
How do we spot a lie? It's been fascinating watching that show. I think one of the things that's so intriguing about the success of something like Traitors is we're all gripped by it because it's so much part of the fabric of our lives. When you're in the office, when you're with your family and whatever. What are the secrets to spotting a lie?
So there's a few things. I think the first one is people who do a lot of incongruent behavior. So if I'm saying yes and I'm doing this, and I'm saying no and I'm doing that, sort of subconsciously look at incongruencies between what I'm saying and what I'm doing. So
your words don't match your actions.
Exactly. So I'm nodding, but I'm going no, and it's amazing. So these micro, it's not that. Sorry, you're gonna say.
No.
Sometimes we talk about, can you look at someone in the eye?
Yes.
Good liars are great. I mean, can you do it? I'm sure you could tell me a lie and look at me in the eye.
Oh, no, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible liar. I'm an absolute, I can't play poker. I can't keep a straight face. No, I'm terrible.
good liars can absolutely look at you in the eye and and actually what they do is they overcorrect. They almost don't blink. They almost overlook you. So that's oftentimes something that you can
So
see.
watch for the lack of blinking.
And the very intense holding, like believe me in that, that's incongruent. The other thing is self-soothing behavior. So if I kind of put my hand in front of my mouth, so I'm like, no, honestly, I did buy that birthday present. I just forgot to bring it. No, I'm gonna that's or maybe I'm kind of twiddling my rings. That's sort of self-soothing.
Yeah.
So the best liars are calm. They remember their smart, so they remember their lies and they keep it as close to the truth as possible. I feel this is like a how-to to lie. Please don't get I'm not sure. Is this the intention? They keep the story as close to the truth as possible. They provide some detail, but not too much.
So it's about, and I think one of the things that is really that's clear is the simpler the lie is, the easier it is to not mess up. Because that's the problem, isn't it? Once things get complicated, because one lie can often lead to another as well. If you already turn around and say, I'm definitely going to be there on time, and you're not going to be there on time, and then you're not there on time, what's happened? Oh, the car broke down, and then suddenly it's a whole litany of lies that's going to end up tripping you up.
100%, and that's why when you kind of look at like amazing investigators, they'll just keep asking the same question. But so you said you were like, did you say you left late, or with the car that picked you up was there traffic? And like you will get done. The other thing though that's really interesting is who we tend to believe more. If you're a likable person, and actually if you have more facial symmetry, so an attractive person, people will tend to believe you more. So we know that in people that select juries, right? We know that if a defendant, which is why defendants look a certain way, they dress a certain way, they're group, because you're more likely to believe if you are likable, and very sadly if you have good facial symmetry.
And colours as well, the colours that you wear, you often see that. They'll say, don't put that colour on, put this colour on.
There's a whole industry based on kind of selecting these things and looking into these kind of, because some of this stuff is baked into us. Like we think we're these sort of advanced creatures. We're apes that have 14 billion years of evolution that kind of say, you look trustworthy for these really basic ideas like clarity of skin or whatever, so I'm going to trust you, or inflection of voice, or all these things. So yeah.
But it also can't be very good for a liar to lie all the time as well. It must be so mentally exhausting.
Yeah.
100%. But that's what I was saying before. It's it speaks to I'm not happy with the way the world is. It speaks to either I feel unaccepted by it, I need to change it, I need to be in control. And actually, the most wonderful thing paradoxically that we trust is confidence. And real confident people are okay to kind of say, yeah, the fish that I caught wasn't that big. I didn't
make a mistake.
Fess up.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be any good? Traitors?
You know what? You can't not know what you know. So I think I've done psychology for so long. I think I'd try.
The problem is you get murdered straight away.
Shrink.
Linda,
That was brilliant.
thanks for putting it.
Thank you.